Let's go to page 507. This is lesson 11-2. The objective of this lesson is to find a formula for the nth term of an arithmetic sequence and to find the specific terms of the arithmetic sequences. Okay, so suppose you have the 3, 7, 11, 15, dot, 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 dot. So how can you find the hundredth term? So this is T1, T2, T3, T4, and what would be the number for T100? Okay. So how are you going to find this? Well, the way to do this is by, notice that this is arithmetic, right? So this would be plus 3 and plus 4. Okay, plus 4, plus 4. Okay. So what happens is, first you have to figure out how many gaps is from here to here. So notice that when you have two numbers, there's one gap, okay, or one space, one increment. When you have three numbers, there are two gaps, okay? When you have four numbers, there are three gaps. So in other words, so n is number of terms. So minus 1, so n minus 1 will give you number of increment, okay? Then, so each increment, then you have to multiply by each increment. So that's the d. Okay, so over here d equal to 4. Okay, so again, n minus 1 is how many gaps, okay, how many increments. And so in this case, like this one over here, if there are four numbers, 4 minus 1 will give you 3, right? So again, this part is how many gaps. Then you have to multiply by these to get the increment. So from here to here, notice there are 3 gaps. So 3 times 4 will give you 12. So that means from here to here, you have to increase by 12, right? Now to get this number, you always have, so the 12 is your increment, is your increase. Okay, so you also have to add the T1. Okay, so this is how much you increase, and this is where you start. So T1 is how much is where you start, plus the increment times number of gaps, and this will give you T of n. Okay, so that's kind of the formula. Again, n minus 1 is how many gaps times by d, okay, so give you the total increase, okay, so again, this is just amount of increase. Increase from what? Well, increase from the T1, right, from the beginning. So T1 is where you start, plus the 4 for each gap times number of gaps, and it will give you that. Okay, so that's how you use this is where you get a formula. Okay, so now when you apply the formula, so T of 100 will equal to, okay, so again, 100 minus 1, this will give you 99 gaps. 99 gaps times 4, because each gap is 4, or each increase is 4. So this is give you the amount of increase. Okay, so that is this right over here, the increase. But you start with 3, so you have to plus 3. So again, this is where you start, and this is how much you increase, and this will give you the final number. So T of 100 equal to 3 plus 4 times 99, so T of 100 equal to 3 plus 396, so T of 100 equal to 399. Okay, so that's how you do this. Okay, so let's go to example 1. Okay, example 1, you got 5, 8, 11, 14, dot, 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 dot. Okay, so you're looking for the nth term. Okay, so this is T of n. So this is T1, T2. Again, T1 means first term, T2 means second term, third term, fourth term, and T of n. Okay, okay, so you look over here, so you're going to get D equal to plus 3. You have to plus 3. So again, the formula is T of n will equal to T1, okay, the first term plus the increase. Well, how are you going to figure out the increase? Well, each increase is 3, okay, times it by number of gaps. So number of gaps would be n minus 1, right? Because that n total number of n numbers and minus the gap, because the number of gaps is always 1 less than a number, okay? So this gives you the gap, okay, and this is the amount of each gap, and the T1. So let's go and put the numbers in here. So T1 is equal to 5. Okay, and you can multiply out. So it'd be 3n minus 3. So T of n, in just for this particular one, again, this formula is only for this problem. Okay, so it'd be 3n plus 2. Okay. Okay, now example 2. Okay, it says find the T17 for this problem. Okay, again, you got 5, 8, 11, 14, dot, 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 dot. So since we had the formula already for this problem, now if the sequence is different, then you have to start from beginning to get your formula, okay, to simplify your formula. So T of 17, that means T of 17 means n equal to 17. That's what it means. Okay? So T of 17 will equal to 3 times 17 plus 2. So T of 17 will equal to 51 plus 2. So T of 17 will equal to 53. Okay. Okay, let's go to example 3. Okay, example 3, it says find T23, so 23rd term for the arithmetic sequence in which T2 equal to 4 and T5 equal to 22. Okay? Okay, so we need to use, so notice there's no D, okay? So we need to find D. So since these two are given, so we need to use these two to find D. Okay? Now, over here, remember the formula T of n equal to T1 plus, they kind of switch the variables, so that's fine. So n minus 1 times D. So again, this is number of gaps times how many in each gap plus what you start out with, and that's how you get the n. Now, what you need to do is be flexible. Okay, be flexible with your be flexible with your variable. Okay, so see over here, when you have an n and a 1, this would be n and a 1. Okay, so be flexible with this over here. So this can be any number as long as you match this with these. Okay, so this can be anything. So you can use it to as long as they are matched. Okay, so since you got T2 and T5, so what you need to do is you can use the 5 and the 2. Okay, or you can use 2 and the 5. It does not matter. Okay, so you just use whatever you know. So if you use T5 equal to T2, okay, and this case again is 5, 2, so you have to use 5 minus 2, okay, because there's T5 and T2, so 5 minus 2 will give you 3 gaps. This is to figure out how many gaps in between. So again, if you have 5, 2, you have to use 5, 2. If you switch, if you got 2, 5, then you have to use 2, 5, okay. So you can get your the ends in here, then you go and substitute. So T5 is 22. T2 is 4, and this would be 3D. Okay, and then you minus 4 on each side. So you got 18 equal to 3D. So divide by 3, divide by 3. So D will equal to 6. Okay? So once you find your D equal to 6, you can go back to your original, you can update your equation to get that. Okay? So again, this is kind of off to the side. So let's go back and do the T23. So T23, again, equal to T1, well, you don't have T1, you have T2. So you have to use T2 or T5. It doesn't matter which one you use. Remember, the key is whatever you use over here, you have to use it over here. Okay, plus, now because you use 23 and 2, you have to use 23 minus 2 times D. D equal to 6 now. Okay, so you have to use that. Okay, now you can go and substitute the T2 in here. So T23 equal to 4 plus 21 times 6. So T of 23 equal to 4 plus 126. So T of 23 equal to 130. Okay? Okay, so you can be flexible with your formula. The key is whatever you use over here, you have to use over here. So 23, 2, you have to have 23, 2. If you use 5, 2, you have to use 5, 2. Okay? Because this tells you how many gap is between here and here, right? How many gaps is between here and here. So that's why they have to always match. Okay? again, for this formula, you can use any order. You can use 2, 5. If you use 2, 5 over here, you have to use 2, 5 over here. Okay? Now over here, if you use 23 and 5, then you have to use 23 and 5. Okay? As long as you match this with this, you can use any term, okay, in the formula. Okay, let's go to the next part. Okay, the next part is called the arithmetic mean. Okay, so arithmetic mean means you have this term between two numbers. Okay, so let's say if you have 10, and then you have they kind of use red, so I'm going to 13, 16, 19, and 22. So these numbers are called arithmetic means because they are the numbers in between the two numbers. Okay? So these are 3 arithmetic means between 10 and 22. Okay? You also have the 10, the 14, 18, and 22. So these are 2 arithmetic means between 10 and 22. You also can have just 1. Okay, so you have 1. So the arithmetic mean between 10 and 22. Now, if you just have the middle number, it's easy. You can just average the 2. This one you have to kind of figure out using the formula. But this one you just average the 2. Okay, so if you have middle term, you just average the 2. So 10 plus 22 over 2, right? That's how we average, right? You add, you divide by 2. So this will equal to 32 over 2, so equal to 16. See that? Okay. So when you have middle term, it's actually easy. Like this one over here. So again, it's like 22. So this is your middle term, right? So again, 10 plus 22 over 2. So that's equal to 16. So from this, you get a middle, right? Now to figure out this number, you just go 10 plus 16 over 2. So it gives you 26 over 2, which equal to 13. See that? So to find the middle number, you just average these two. To find this number, again, if this is the middle, you can just go ahead and 16 plus 22 over 2. So this will equal to 38 over 2 equal to 19. See that? So again, if you have middle number, you just average the 2. Okay. Now, if you don't have middle number, it's a little bit complicated. So what you need to do is you have to use the gap. Okay. So let's go and do this one. Let's say if you have 10 and you have 2 missing numbers and you got 22. Okay? So what you need to do is do this. Okay? So this is going to be a D, right? This is a D and this is a D, right? So what you do is see the difference between that is, so this minus that equal to 12, right? So from here to here the difference is 12, which is equal to 3D, right? So 12 equal to 3D. Right, again, there's 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gap. So 3 gap is equal to difference of 12. Okay? So from here to here is 12, which is equal to 3 gaps. So 12 equal to 3 gaps. So D equal to 4. Okay? So once you know that D equal to 4, then you can go 10 plus 4 is 14. 14 plus 4 equal to 18. Right? And 18 plus 4 equal to 22. And that's how you get that. Okay? So again, when you don't have a middle term, it's a little bit more complicated. Okay, you have to figure out how many gaps and equal to the increment, and you can figure out your D. Once you figure out your D, you can do that. Or you can use your formula. Okay, so you can over here. Another way to do this is using the formula. Okay, so anyway, let's go over some examples. Okay, let's go to example 4A. It says find the arithmetic mean of 4 and 9. So you got 4 and 9. Again, so this is you're looking for the middle number, you just average the 2. So 4 plus 9 divided by 2. So you got 13 over 2. Okay? And so 13 over 2, and that's your answer. Okay. Now, if you go example 4B, insert 4 arithmetic mean between 15 and 50. So you got 15, you have to insert 4 means. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 50. Okay? Okay, so first you need to do is find D. Okay? So again, there are two ways you can do this. Okay? So one thing is by just using the picture. So this is when you have few terms, you can do this. Okay? If you have more terms, probably better to use a formula. I'm going to use both. Okay? So from here to here is 50 minus, you have to use the n minus beginning, right? 50 minus 15 will give you 35. So from here to here is 35. Okay? And so from here to here, 35, and there are 5 d's. So 35 equal to 5d. So divide by 5, so d equal to 7. Okay? Once you figure out d equal to 7, you just keep adding 7. So it'll be 22, okay, 29, and it will be 36. Okay? And this will equal to 43, and equal to 7 give you 50, right? Okay, another way to do this is do it by formula. So call this T1, so this will be T2, T3, T4, T5, T6, okay? So your formula would be T of n equal to T1 plus n minus 1 times d, right? So you're going to use these two numbers, so that's your T6 equal to T1 plus 6 minus 1 times d. Okay? And over here, T6 is 50, T1 is 15. Okay? And you're going to end up with that, right? So minus 15 minus 15. So you got 35 equal to 5d. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. So d equal to 7. Once you find d, you can go back to do like what we did earlier, right? So you can do either way. You can do it by formula, or you can do it by figuring out the pattern.